Don't buy a house until you watch this video. The end is going to save you thousands of dollars. First, I want you to leave your checkbook at home. A lot of people start their search right away when the reality is you got to get in familiarization of what does the market offer you at this time for your money. So the first thing I like to do with clients is to do what we call market education, and we start online. We're going to look at essentially what are they looking for and what sales have taken place that match that criteria. What this is going to do is allow the seller to see what is stuff worth, how long does it usually sit on the market, what's the typical discount like, and even how often does what they're looking for even hit the market. For some people, there's lots of choice, and in the last 90 days, they would have bought 3 or 4 of them. For other people, it's like once every 6 months what they're looking for even hits the market. And this is important data for that buyer to have to kind of set a reference on how quick they need to act on something if and when something matches their criteria. So once we do that, we've got an awesome little baseline. From there, we do our in-person market education. So we take different styles, locations of what they're looking for, and we go look at them. And again, without their checkbook, no pressure. It's all about just getting familiar. And the goal is to have a 2-column list. The first one is my non-negotiable criteria, the second one being my wish list. And the goal is for the client to think of it in either or. And the reality is you're never going to get everything you want. Buying a home is a process of elimination, not selection. There's not unlimited selection. And ultimately, we are looking for the best value that matches all of your non-negotiable criteria and, of course, as many of the wants as we can. So when we go look at homes, we are uncovering what's really important because your initial priority list will change. Again, without that unlimited budget, you're going to have to make some sacrifices. And we as humans are wired to want just what's out of reach. I've got clients with $500,000 budgets that want stuff that's $600K, and I've got clients with $5 million budgets that want stuff for $6 million. So your priorities need to exist and you need to categorize them, and it's way more clear after you've seen some homes. So after we do an in-person or 2 sessions of in-person market education, at that point, most people have a really good idea of what they're looking for. They understand what their non-negotiables are. And from there, we're refining the search. And we're then going to look at everything on the market, both on and off. Off includes stuff like foreclosures, estate sales, coming soon listings, etc. And we're going to seek all of the homes that match that, and we're going to do a round robin tournament to find the best value. So at this point, you've got yourself a really good understanding of what it is that you're looking for. You've refined your search criteria. You know exactly what stuff's worth, and now you're what sellers fear most, and that's an educated buyer. At this point, you are going to transition from market education, is what we call it, to showings. And these showings are for the prospect of finding you the best value, okay? And when we go looking at homes, your goal is to eliminate anything that isn't a consideration. You're looking for the high watermark, your favorite home of what you've seen so far, and all future homes should be compared against that one. A lot of clients, they try and remember a few that they like, and it's very hard to eliminate when you have 4 or 5 homes in consideration versus what is usually likely the clear winner at this point. So try and distill it down to your favorite, and any future ones, compare it to that. And you're going to look at all the homes that are matching your non-negotiable criteria, and you are seeking the best value. Now, value isn't just what's pretty, okay? The reality is what's pretty now won't be pretty when you go to sell. So what you're looking for is, of course, as pretty as you can, but the core things you're seeking for good value for now and in the future is awesome location, a great lot, and the bones of the house. You can always add paint and add finishings and ultimately make it cool, but the bones and where it is and the dirt that it sits on is what's most important. The last thing I want is for my client to ever sacrifice for what's pretty, and then later, 10 years, when they ask me to sell it and it's dated and we're hovering over a busy road. That will be the kiss of death for value. It's kind of like, I joke, it's kind of like when all the girls are most excited about the asshole in high school, and then you grow up and he's still working at the gas station and you wonder what were they thinking? That's kind of the house that's pretty now, but hovering on the busy road. So ultimately, once you've found the home that makes the most sense for you, you've distilled it down to the best one that makes the most sense, you want to have somebody that can strategically and tactically create an offer that represents your best interests. And ultimately that offer, after having thought about everything, it's got specialty clauses that cover your butt, and you've devised a strategy that makes the most sense to present to the parties you're going to be negotiating with. The goal is to present that offer in person, belly to belly with the seller. The mistake often in our industry is that the realtor will try and communicate to the realtor. And the reality is that agent isn't the one making the decision. So the goal is for your representative to get in front of the sellers who's actually making the decision and to present your case to them. It's the very same thing. If I asked you to recommunicate everything in this video, you're feeling a certain way right now, but if I asked you to recommunicate it to a friend, you probably couldn't. And that's the same thing in a negotiation. Your agent can do a great job selling the dream to the other agent, and then that gets distilled and doesn't have the same impact on the person that's actually making the decision. So you want to have an awesome strategy, well thought out, and you are treating it as much of an art as you are a science, and that is presented to the folks that are making the decision. So after all that, I think you found yourself an awesome home. You future-proofed it for future value because you're not just caught up on what's pretty now, and hopefully you've structured and negotiated an amazing offer in your best interest. If you are thinking of buying, whether it's now or in the future, I'd love to sit down and strategize with you and answer any questions you got and hopefully come up with a game plan to help get you the best outcome. So if you found this valuable, please comment game plan below, and I would love to help in any way I can in the future. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.